Hello students, let us start our new session with the chapter number 9, Ray Optics and Optical Instruments. Let us take its introductory part. As a human eye can detect the light signal that is available in visible band of electromagnetic spectrum, and that visible band is available between 400 nanometer to 700 nanometer. As this light signal able to propagate can travel through the air in free space with the highest speed, and that speed of light is around 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. That speed of light is highest in vacuum in nature. Now this light signal travel in air, it seems like it is traveling in a straight line because its speed is highest. So number of ways or propagation methods are there from which with the higher speed of the light, with the higher frequency, it seems like it is moving in a straight line. Now that light signal having a wavelength very small, and according to that we can say that frequency is very much high. We are having that equation f equals to c by lambda. So wavelength is less, accordingly we are getting a very high frequency. This light signal can travel from one point to another point with that high frequency by joining these 2 points in a straight line. The path carried out to travel that particular light wave, that is known as ray of light, and the bundle of such rays can be known as beam of light. Now that light wave can propagate through number of methods: reflection, refraction, diffraction and scattering. The reflection portion has been omitted from your syllabus right now, as you have already covered in chapter number 10. So let us focus with the refraction. As you can see in the diagram, one light ray is propagating through the air. It come across in the contact of glass slab. From the interface of that glass and air, some of the light component is moving towards the air itself in the same medium. So that is known as a reflection, and the wave by some angle perpendicular with respect to the normal, it is moving in the air, that is a reflected ray. Now some of the component of the light wave that is propagating through the glass. As we know, from the glass light signal can propagate further. So whatever the light signal is coming towards the interface, it is divided in 2 components. One component is propagating further in the same medium, and some of the component is moving towards the glass medium. If the medium will change for the propagation, that method is known as refraction. So here 2 components has been shown, reflection and refraction. The angle of incident and refraction angle we can measure from the contact point. We have taken a normal component. So with respect to the normal, incident angle is I, and the refracted angle in the glass medium, that is shown as R. So while we take the ratio of sin I, that is I is the incident angle, upon sin R, that R is the refracted angle. So if we take the ratio of sine of incident angle to sine of refracted angle, that is equal to always constant, and that constant is known as refractive index of second medium with respect to first medium. That N21 we can define with N2 by N 1. That law, that equation is known as Snell's law. Now if we take two cases, if n21 is greater than 1, it means incident angle I is greater than I. Here it suggests that refracted ray bends towards the normal as R is less. So between the normal and the refracted ray, angle is less. It means ray bends towards the normal. In such cases, we can say that medium 2 is optically dense medium than medium 1. And second case, if we take n21 is less than 1, it means R greater than I. That is, a refracted angle is greater than incident angle. So, between the normal and refracted ray, R angle is greater. It means refracted ray moving away from the normal. It shows that medium 1 is more denser than medium 2. Here there is optical density is different than the mass density. Mass density, it means mass per unit volume, and optical density, that is the ratio of speed of light into medium. For example, turpentine has a less mass density than water, but water has higher optical density than turpentine. So this is how refractive index gives the property of the material and optical density. Now, if we are having a 3 medium refractive index N32, then N3 by N2 equal to N3 by N1 into N1 by N2. So N1 will be cancelled out. So we will get N3 by N2, that is N32. It shows the refractive index of medium 3 with respect to 2. Now to understand this phenomena, let us take 3 medium structure. As you can see in the diagram, first medium is air, second medium is glass slab, and third medium itself again air. So from the air, light ray is incident with the angle I1. As this light ray is moving in the glass medium, so medium will change, and that angle with respect to normal, that is R1 refracted angle. While this refracted ray is propagated through the glass, now there is another interface available between glass and air. So again medium will change for the propagation, and that light ray now again refracted towards the ray by the angle R2. And at this interface, the light ray is incident with the I2 angle. So here we can say that two interfaces are there between air and glass. So the incident angle I1 and final refracted angle in the air itself R2, both are same. Just the ray is shifted or displaced in the position. If this displacement is not available, then it can be defined as a parallel ray. But here the shifting is appeared. Based on that, some illusion can be there. For example, if you can see in the diagram, consider this a rectangle box is the tank filled with the water. If we see the water level from the normal or near to the normal, then it is visible like a apparent depth H1 that is defined at the level O dash. But actual depth of the water is available at up to the bottom O, that is H2. Real depth of the tank is there, but it is appear like depth of the tank up to the O dash, that is H1. So here, based on the displacement or the shift angle, this kind of illusion is available. This thing is available with the natural phenomena around us, as you can see in the diagram. Here sun is visible before actual sunrise and after actual sunset due to that refraction of light, due to that shifting of that refracted angle. So actual sunrise, it means when sun cross that horizon, but here that horizon is considered as a normal. So here Earth takes 24 hours to rotate a complete rotation. Here the refractive index of air with respect to volume is 1.00029. So it's considered as a 1 itself. So while this Earth is rotating around the sun, it takes 24 hours to complete that 360 degree. Here the illusion we are having with the half degree, and to complete that half degree 2 minutes are required. It means sunset is visible after 2 minutes of actual sunset and sunrise is visible before 2 minutes of actual sunrise. This thing can be acceptable by focusing this example that Earth takes 24 hours to rotate once about its axis. How much time does sun take to shift by 1 degree when viewing from the Earth? So while the Earth is rotated, it requires 24 hours to shift in 360 degree. So to shift 1 degree, 24 by 360 hours, it means 4 minutes are required. So to complete 1 degree, 4 minutes are required, and for the sunset and sunrise, that shifting of the angle is available with the half degree. So that half degree requires 2 minutes. So before 2 minutes of actual sunrise, it is observed, and after 2 minutes of actual sunset, it is observed. Now let us focus on to the next topic, total internal reflection. Here two mediums are there, air and the water. Now the ray of light is propagating through the water towards the interface. Observe at point O1, the normal is drawn. So incident angle is I. So some of the component, it is reflected back by the AC path, and some of the component is moving in the air with the AB part. Here the light signal is propagating through the air. So AC component, it is known as a reflected wave, and AB, that is known as a refracted wave. Now if we increase the angle of incidence, focus onto the O2 point. So incident angle is I dash. By increasing that angle, refracted ray is more compared to the refracted wave. So reflection over here we observe more. Now take the third case, focus onto the O3 point. Here still we are increasing the angle of incidence. So at this point, no light ray is reflected back in water or refracted into the air. That particular ray of light makes the 90 degree with respect to normal, and that light ray is propagating through the interface. That is known as critical angle of incidence IC. Now if we increase the incidence angle greater than critical angle IC, then you can observe at point O4, no light component is moving in the air. So no refraction is available, and all the light component moving in the water itself. So here we are getting a reflected wave. So here the total internal reflection is possible if incident angle is greater than critical angle. Here the same thing we can also observe through the Snell's law. Snell's law suggests that sin I by sin R equal to n to 1. Sin IC, if I is replaced by IC, then sin IC by sin R is 90. So sin 90 is 1. So can we say sin IC equal to n to 1? Now if we increase the angle, refracted angle greater than, if IC is greater than I, so here Snell's law cannot satisfy the condition that if I is greater than IC. So here again we can say this Snell's law is only possible up to I equal to IC. Till that point only refraction can be possible. After the I greater than critical angle IC, refraction is not possible and total internal reflection is available. Here in the table you can observe some of the medium in which refractive index and critical angle is defined. Water medium having a refractive index 1.33 and its critical angle is 48.75. Crown glass having a refractive index 1.52 and its critical angle is 41.14 degree. Dense flint glass having a refractive index 1.62 and its critical angle is 37.31. And diamond having a refractive index 2.42 and critical angle that is a 24.41. Here different material having a different refractive index and its critical angle based on the property of the material and optical density of the material. Now let us go through the demonstration for total internal reflection. As you can see in the diagram, let us take one beaker filled with the water. Now pass the ray of light from the bottom of the beaker and observe that some of the component is refracted in air and some of the component is coming back in the water, that is a reflected wave. Now focus that plain water through which we cannot see the proper intensity of the light. So make it dilute with the piece of soap and make that water turbid. Turbid water through which the intensity of the light is more visible. Now in the diagram B, you can focus that adjust the angle of incident by the trial and error in such a manner that no light component is moving in the air and all the light is propagating through the reflection in the water. This diagram B shows the total internal reflection. Now instead of the beaker you also can choose the test tube and from the top of the test tube give the ray of light in such a manner that no refraction is there and all the light is propagating through the total internal reflection in a zigzag pattern. So this is how this total internal reflection pattern, from that method optical fiber is working on that principle. To the optical fiber, incident angle is greater than critical angle. In that manner light is given into the glass and through the total internal reflection this light ray can be available at another end of the cable. Around that fiber optic glass cable some insulated material is there with the lesser refractive index, so no light wave while it is transmitting through the cable, no light wave can coming out through the wire and maximum data can reach from one end to another end. Here we are going to end this session. Hope you understood. Thank you.